I've got another massive video for you today, guys. We're going to be taking a look at the 20 best C4 spots on Siege. Now make sure to go down into the comment section and let me know what other tips and tricks you'd like to see on the channel, or what your favorite trick was. Now make sure to go join my Discord. The link is in the description. Come over there if you want to submit your own tricks, or you just want to keep up to date on everything that I'm doing. Now let's aim for 500 likes on this video and do this as quickly as possible. So go down there and smash that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, so that when you're talking anymore, let's dive in and get started here with this first one here over on Coastline on the second floor inside the billiards room. Now this is a sick C4 spot to stop the plant going down on that A bomb chassis. So any attacker pushing in from aquarium, going in behind the bomb chassis, over here, if you make a small hole in the corner and throw your C4 down onto the back of the wall inside blue bar, it will get the attacker on the other side. So you just line it up, you can throw it down, and as you can see, it will take out the attacker as they're planting the diffuser. Moving on to the next one here over onto Chalet. Now this is a C4 from the master big window down onto trench door. Now obviously if the bomb chassis is down in basement, this would make more sense. If you're roaming up here, if you look at this container right next to the bed and you just go a little bit off center from it and then look up at the corner of those beams on the ceiling, you can line up a C4 to go out the window and land down on the trench door. Now you have to wait about a second before you detonate it so that it'll actually land down on the trench door and take out any attackers on the stairs. Big shout out to Evan Braddock for finding this sick one. It's a really good C4 spot and it was going to catch them by surprise. Now here's an alternative. If you want to be a bit more hidden, you can go down inside kitchen here and make a small hole in the ceiling in line with the ping on the wall. You can then open up the window inside master and again just line it up to go out the window, and you'll be able to get again anyone sitting on that trench door. So this is just two variations that you can work with, and they're really strong C4s to use. Now of course again you have to wait a second or two because the C4 has a long way to travel before it reaches that point. So if you just wait a second or two and then detonate it, it should take out any attackers. Now moving on to the next one, and this one takes us over inside of games on the first floor. So if you make a small hole in the ceiling, and this is for the library window, so obviously it's a big high traffic area, people coming up to library trying to take control of it, you could be having a pulse underneath and you can catch them off the guard again and throw the C4 up through the floor out the window and catch any unsuspecting attackers. Again, this is a really strong position because of how high traffic area the library is. There's always going to be attackers pushing it, so you can catch them off guard. Now moving on to Kanal for this next one, this is for the sky bridge window. So if you break open the window and throw a C4 on the outer ledge of the window frame and then close it back up, it's completely silent to any attackers. You could have a cam set up watching a sky bridge, and you could be sitting in a safe position, and as they're walking down Skybridge, you could catch them off guard. You'll see here, just place a simple cam up on the wall. You can be watching for any attackers as they make their way past printer down towards the window, and you can detonate that C4 and get an easy pick. Now moving on to the next one, and we're going to stay on Kanal for this one as well. This one is for the same floor, just again if anyone's pushing in from the printer right on this other window behind these containers. A lot of attackers push up here to get angles towards the server. If you go downstairs inside of gym and by breaking open the window, you'll be able to lay prone and line up a C4 to go in that window. Now you're going to want to make sure that that window of course is open upstairs, but it can also be closed because it'll still kill them if they're sitting behind those containers. If the window is open, you can just lay prone, line it up, throw your C4 up through the window, and again it's going to completely surprise any attackers holding that position. Now this next C4 keeps us on Kanal, and again is a really strong one to use. I feel like people need to use this more. This is for pillbox upstairs on the top of red. So if you go downstairs inside maps and just inside the door where this light is on the side of the wall, if you make a couple of holes in the ceiling, you can actually line up a C4 to go out that door into the red hall and actually land right just inside the door of pillbox. It will kill them no matter where they're standing inside here. You can even see in the replay here that he's not even close to the door and I'm still getting him with the C4. So moving on to the next one, guys, and this one's going to take us over onto Skyscraper. Now this is for the office bomb site on the other side of the map. So this is on the second floor for this display window for outside of the balcony. If you go downstairs inside the master bedroom underneath and then into the closet in the corner, now you got to make sure to break the shelves on the side of the wall. It does make it a lot easier. And then by making a hole in the corner up in the ceiling, exactly where I've pinpointed on screen, you'll be able to launch a C4 up through the ceiling and out the window for any unsuspecting attackers holding angles into the site. This is another really strong one. I feel like a lot more people should use this. It's also a lot safer because you're down inside the closet, you're out of view of any attackers, and it's a really strong one to maybe get a pick early in the round as people are trying to push towards the bomb site. Now on to the next one, guys, and this one takes us over onto Kafe. Now this one was found years ago and I kind of forgot about it, but it's actually a really strong C4 to catch people dropping down that red hatch. So if you break open a section of this little cigar shop here and then you go downstairs underneath to the hatch and you shoot one hole in the top of the hatch, you'll be able to launch a C4 up through that little shelving unit out onto the red door. Now the reason I'm not breaking the hatch is it just makes it less suspecting to attackers. When they're droning in, they don't notice it. They just might see the hole and just think that someone shot it. But this allows you then to throw the C4 up through that little section in the cigar shop. Now it's going to take some practice to get the line up right, and then you'll be able to throw the C4 onto that door and catch any attackers dropping that red hatch. It's another really strong one. Of course, how many people drop the red hatch? It's one of the most common drops in the game, so this is a really good one. If you line it up correctly, you can take out any attackers pushing towards the bomb site. Now this next one is a really cool plant denial on Villa for the vault door. Right behind the door, everyone goes to try and plant a diffuser here. So if you're stuck inside the vault and you can't like swing out on them because you might have someone on top red watching in, you can make a small hole in the corner here and throw a C4 onto the wall down below. Now because it's a little bit further from the actual hole you're making, this will actually allow you to C4 anyone who's planting diffuser behind the vault door. You can see here that it'll take them out. They're going to be completely surprised. And again, you can do this, you could have it prepped later on or early in the round, or do it later if you're under pressure. Now moving on to the next one, guys, and this one takes us inside games room in the second floor. If you make a couple of holes above the reinforcement here, now obviously sometimes you don't reinforce both of the walls, but you can still line this C4 up. So standing on the corner of the billiards table, you can throw a C4 up over the reinforcement and it will land right on top of 90 window. Anyone rappelling on that window, whether they're rappelled on the left side or the right side, it actually lands right down on the windowsill, so they'll get picked off regardless of where they're rappelled. Now moving on to Oregon for this next one, this is another plant denial. So downstairs inside of kitchen, this is a really good one if you line it up properly. So shooting a hole in the ceiling here, if you're roaming downstairs and you hear your teammates call out they're planning on default plant, you could have this hole prepped and you can launch a C4 up through the ceiling and it will land right next to the foosball table. You can catch them completely off guard once again, and I'm going to show you even a second option if you feel like the kitchen is too far away. So actually at the bottom of white inside the security room, right over in the corner on the ceiling, you can also just throw a C4 onto the ceiling here, or you could have it pre-placed, less likely to be shot out because it's tucked away inside the corner here. So when they go to plant, you could have this lined up and you can take out anyone planting the diffuser. So two really good options for stopping that plant going down inside the games room. Now moving on to the next one here, guys, and this one takes us over on to theme park. Now this is an insane C4 spot. If I died to this, I'd be even impressed. So inside of Armory here, if you look at these beams on the ceiling and you make a couple of holes in the ceiling, you can see that little red opening upstairs inside of waiting room. Make sure to break the little pegs that are on that, so it allows the C4 to go up through the ceiling and it will actually go over the top of this red opening and land all the way down inside Dragon. Now again, you got to time this right. Don't detonate it straight away. You have to wait 1 or 2 seconds before it lands on the ground. So any attackers who are pushing that door trying to get access to the site, they will just completely lost when they see the kill cam for this C4. Again, a super sick C4 to try out, so I'd advise you to give it a go. Now this next one's on a Clubhouse. This is for the kitchen entrance. So if you actually go up to the top floor inside Logi and open up the hatch, you'll be able to throw a C4 out the hatch and it will land right down on that kitchen door. So you just jump up on the desk, and if you line it up with the railing, so you'll see the small peg on the top of the railing there, if you just line it up a little bit to the left of that, the C4 will land right down on top of that door. A lot of attackers like to drone out, they just tuck themselves outside the door by freezer, and they will then get picked off by the C4 and be completely surprised. So this next one is going to take us over onto border. Now this is more of a common one, but it's still a really strong C4 to stop that armory wall push. So if you go down into supply in this first floor and make a hole in the corner of the ceiling here, and then just make a couple of holes in the door without breaking it, you can throw a C4 up through the gap in the door and catch anyone who's outside that armory wall. Now this works best with pulse because of course you can use your cardiac sensor to watch the attackers pushing towards that spot, and then you can throw the C4 and get some picks in the round. So moving on to the next one, guys, and this one takes us over onto Nighthaven. Now this is located on the second floor server's bomb site. Now a lot of people like to reinforce only one side of this wall. I understand that people like to put the head holes on it, but this can work in both situations. So if you actually go inside connector and reinforce from outside the site and then go back into the site, you can shoot holes in the floor, and there's actually a small section where you can place the C4. Now you can place the C4 under the beams, which means that anyone on the other side trying to get the wall open will actually get hit by the C4 because it's technically inside the other room. It's a really strong C4 to use. I'd advise you to check it out. It's about positioning though. You need to get the C4 in the right place so that when a thermite or just any attackers are pushing through and they come close to this wall, you can detonate it and pick them off. You can see here when I'm standing up against the wall, so if there is a thermite going to get the wall and you do have it reinforced fully, they will get picked off in the round. Moving on to the next one, and this one takes us inside of electrical. This is a very common C4 but highly effective if you time it right. So any attackers coming up this stairs off of the spawn, you can time it right and just sit by the window here and throw a C4 over the top of the railing, and it will land right on top of the stairs. Again, this is about timing, so you have to wait a few seconds once the round starts and you know that they're pushing the stairs. You can throw that C4 and catch them off guard. And moving on to the next one, guys, and this one again staying on Nighthaven, down inside the assembly site inside the basement, right in the corner here on the ceiling. If you make a couple of holes in the ceiling, it's right under the window inside supply upstairs. Now this is a high traffic area for attackers to push. They want to get in, they want to put fuse on the floor, they want to get ram on the floor so that they can see down into the site, and you can have this C4 lineup ready for any attackers who are droning this room and making their way into the building. It's a strong C4, really easy to use and highly effective. So moving on to the next one, guys, this one takes us on to bank. Now this is for the janitor hallway. So just inside the janitor door to the left here, you can see the small hole I've made in the floor. Now you can go downstairs inside of open area and then into that small admin office in the back, and right above the light inside the door, you can shoot a small hole in the ceiling, and this will give you the perfect lineup to throw a C4 up through the door and out into the hallway. You can see the attacker coming in from outside, pushing down towards that hallway, and you can line up the C4 and set it off and catch them off guard. You can really see from the replay here how far this C4 actually goes. It goes right out the doorway, all the way down the hallway, almost to that corner out into top square. Now onto the final C4 spot, and this of course is a very common one on Outback, but it's a really effective one to get that early pick in the round. Now attackers are going to spawn in gas station, they're going to go onto those containers and come up onto that ramp. Now the best way to set this up is keep the window reinforced and just break a small hole in the corner. When they're coming up the ramp, they're only going to see the top half of the window, so they won't notice that it's open, and then you can throw the C4, catch them off guard and get an early pick and help you in securing the round. So that's it for today's video, guys. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to go down into the comment section and let me know what your favorite C4 spot is, and if you have one that I've not mentioned in this video, make sure to put it in the comments or join up on my Discord. Like I said at the start of the video, all the necessary links are in the description. I do stream over on Twitch every few days, so make sure to come over there and chill out and see some of these tricks in action so you know whether they're good or bad. And of course, like I said, 500 likes. Smash that like button. Let's get that goal as quickly as possible. Now if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can keep up to date on my next upload. And as always,